This is the heavy metal rebel Frankie Kazarian and almighty Christopher Daniels, collectively known as The Addiction. We are also world travelers, loved by millions, and we both have rears that makes the girls cheer. You're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show. Keep listening. And you have permission to worship us. Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Podchak, the Potsy and Tino Show. That's right, folks. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And what you just heard was The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian bringing us in. Thank you, gentlemen, for that. Tino, what's been going on with you?
Not a whole lot, man. Been chilling around the house. As we record this, this is July the 25th. So Wednesday night. So tomorrow. But the excitement is we're getting new windows in the house, which is gonna be cool.
Well, other than that, tonight is the 25th. So
yeah. So tomorrow the 26th, we'll be getting the windows. And I turned. Were you gone for my birthday?
No, I wasn't gone, but I had to work that day.
Yeah, so, and July 15th, I turned 45. You missed my birthday. Where's my present?
I miss it like where's your present?
Where's my present?
I am your present.
You're my present?
I mean, look
Can
at
I send
this,
you back?
Shirt. Look at this shirt.
Do you have the gift receipt? Other, like I said, it's just been, you know, just life, just living the dream.
It's funny, man. I'm sitting here. You know, we're live on YouTube tonight. We're also recording for the Potsy and Tino podcast, and it's funny because every time your picture goes up, it says that you're in HD, but every time my picture's up, it's like.
You're lucky. I think you're in HD. You're going out. You're not. You have a little color to you. Not the pale ginger that I know and love.
Well, that could be the San Diego sun that I got this.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You got some San Diego hair too.
San Diego hair?
It grew back. Usually it's like slick. You got a little stubble. You got like 5 o'clock shadow going on there.
It's more like a 7:30 shadow. It's a little longer than that.
Sunblock 30.
So there you go.
So how was San Diego, man? I've been anxious and excited to hear about this.
Dude, it was crazy. All right, so I'll start from the very beginning. This may take a while, folks. So
he
Tino,
woke up.
What's that?
He woke up, got ready to go to the airport.
So I woke up at 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday morning to go to the airport. I got to the airport by 3:45, 4 o'clock. Got down to the place to actually, you know, like past security and everything, 4:15. And you know, all that was fine. I met up with Billy, one of the artists of Junior High Horrors, at the airport. Two of us sat there for a little while, and you know, we started talking about how, like, Delta, when you fly Delta now, you know, you used to be able to pick your seat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want like the cheapest fare possible through them, they don't let you pick your seat. But it's not like Southwest, where if you get to go on in zone 1, you get to pick your seat. No,
yeah.
No, they give you a seat number, and it's like the last seat picked, right? Mm-hmm. So like literally both of us ended up sitting in middle rows, about 6 rows away from each other.
Wow, why?
Because you know, just like I said, getting the lowest fare possible. That's like how they do that for whatever reason.
What time was your flight?
So of course, you know, I get ready to hop on the plane, and I'm looking and I'm going back towards my seat, and it's like 26B or something, and I'm walking, and you know, there was this little baby before I got on the plane, and the baby was crying and making all this noise, and I said, I bet I have to sit right next to this baby for the next 4 hours. And guess what?
You had to sit next to that baby for the next 4 hours.
I had to sit next to that baby for 4 hours. Now, granted, the fine folks at Astro Gaming gave me an Astro A38 headset, which is a wireless Bluetooth headset with noise canceling. So I was able to cancel out most of the noise from the baby. But
You're a grumpy old man.
But I knew going in that I was gonna be the one that has to sit next to that kid, and I did. And interestingly enough, the baby was actually pretty good for a while. But then all of a sudden, like, I guess we had a little bit of turbulence or something, and it just picked up and started making a lot of noise.
I was scared.
And then I was like, okay, gonna watch a movie now. So, got into San Diego without any real troubles after that. You know, we flew through on the way back, we flew through Detroit. On the way there, we flew through Memphis, which is funny because I'm sorry, Minnesota, but I'm bringing up Memphis for another reason, because the end of the trip is the only time I actually met a celebrity. But because this is a wrestling show, I want to talk about that last. So got in on Wednesday. We were staying at the Hard Rock, which is pretty cool because it's literally the closest hotel to the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally just had to walk across the street to get to the convention center every day, which was awesome. It was also, Tino, the hotel where all of the celebrities were staying.
Nice.
And when I say all of the celebrities, Jason Momoa, Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the entire cast of The Flash, all these people were all staying at the Hard Rock. Finn Jones from Iron Fist was staying in the Hard Rock. You want to know how many of these people I met?
0. Not
a single one.
How did you manage to be in a hotel with all these celebrities and not meet anybody?
I don't know. So I didn't actually meet them, but at one point I was getting into the elevator and the guys from Broken Lizard were getting out of the elevator. So I guess technically I saw some celebrities, but and the Broken Lizard folks, by the way, are the people from
Super Troopers.
Yeah, and all those movies. So Club Dread and Beer Fest and Super Troopers 2 most recently. But yeah, so I didn't meet any of them. But yet everybody I know met some of these people. Like, for example, Billy, the artist, one of the artists on Junior High Horrors, actually met Finn Jones because he went up the elevator with him.
Wow.
Yeah, so the immortal Iron Fist was sitting there going up the elevator with my one of my artists, and Billy turned, he looked at him and he goes, "Having a good con so far?" And the guy looks back, he's like, "Yeah, how about you?" He's like, "Yeah, pretty good," and that was it. He didn't say, "Are you Finn Jones?" He didn't say, "Can I get a picture?" Nothing. That was it.
What? Why?
I don't know. Well, because he didn't really know it was him, because he didn't think that they would be staying at the Hard Rock with a Westin in the area. So he, but dude, like every night they were closing off 2 of the 3 elevators, or they were closing off the entire group of elevators because of all the celebrities that were there, which is pretty insane. So just nuts stuff, man, nuts. So the convention though, we were joking around that we wanted to try to get Junior High Horrors in front of some Hollywood producers and stuff, and we actually met Joe Quintanilla, who is actually the producer of Sharknado 5. Okay. Which I see you laughing, but I love the Sharknado movies.
I do too. That's why I'm laughing. Nicole and I will watch them. We're like, this is so stupid and cheesy, but we'll sit there and watch all of them.
So of course, I'm sitting there a couple days before, or right before I went to San Diego. I was told by my publisher Crosby that he was shopping my ideas around to different studios and stuff, and apparently a television executive is actually looking at it from Paramount. So like the heads are getting bigger and bigger. But when he came by, I'm like, here, come here, let me take you over here. I was live streaming the entire thing on the YouTube page, which is what we're on now. It's live streaming it, and I'm sitting there having a conversation with him about how we need to turn Immortal into a sci-fi movie, low budget sci-fi movie. Like, I've already written the treatment. We can go ahead and we can make this happen. We just got to find the right girl for it. Now, here's what's weird, Tino. About 2 hours after he left, this gorgeous woman with just guns, like real muscles, totally looked like she could be a WWE superstar, walks up and starts talking to me about Immortal and saying that she wants to be a stunt woman if a movie's ever made for it. And I'm like, I'm serious. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, Billy is sitting there and he goes, I don't even know what to say to that, man. She was just gorgeous. I was like, I know. And while she's sitting there, I'm like, why wouldn't you want to actually just, get your big break as the actress in that kind of film too? Because if I can get her to be the actress who's also filming the stunts, then, two birds, one stone.
Yep.
And we're already one step closer. Now I got her name. Her name's Katie, but I can't remember her last name for the life of me. She's supposed to email me back sometime this week. So we'll see if I have a stunt woman who wants to actually play the role of Immortal, Elisa in Immortal. And yeah, so all that's going on. Then, of course, we ended up having the kid that played young Michael Myers, Dag Ferg, come down to the booth, and he actually went to start signing some stuff and everything else before he had to leave. So like literally, I guess I did meet a celebrity if Dag Ferg is actually a celebrity at this point, young Michael Myers from the Rob Zombie version of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So he was sitting at our booth for a little while. We had all that going on, and all the while we've got Marvel next to us, we got Image next to us, and the Marvel booth, like, dude, it was like if they just announced that they were going to give something away before you knew it. It was like the busiest bar you've ever been to, and then multiply that by like 6.
Oh my gosh.
Like, they were all just like, instead of being like 4 deep at a bar, this thing was like 19 deep to get a poster. Okay. To get it. In fact, let me, for those that are actually watching here, let me grab one of these posters. I'll show you. So like this one.
Wow.
And this poster, by the way, says success. The hardest choices require the strongest wills. Thanos. So that's like the kind of thing that was being given out at the Marvel booth. And what's funny is, like, one of the helpers at our booth was like, "Do you want me to go get you guys that stuff?" And it's like, yeah, because we're not going to be able to get up for it. So they went ahead and they got that for us. Yeah. So all different types of craziness was going on, and then we were selling the junior high horrors preview book.
Mm-hmm.
Which I only have a couple copies of until the rest of them ship in. This one is actually signed by Dag Ferg.
What?
Yeah. So young Michael Myers actually autographed that one, and then my buddy Austin, who is a YouTuber named Spidey, went ahead and actually drew the JV character on one of them for me as well. So
that is awesome, dude.
So I got some cool stuff there. Here's one of my favorite things that I got, though. It's actually here, let me pull it out of here for you. So this is actually from my buddy John Hoseko, who was sitting at the booth with us. He actually drew the characters of Junior High Horrors in a little I like that he did for me. So yeah, I didn't get a lot of stuff. I didn't get a lot of goodies or anything. I did get, I did get a print from Sean Galloway, who this is his Avengers, all his like little kids.
Yeah.
He's an animator, or his style is very animated. So yeah, so I got a couple things. But my favorite one, besides the John Hoseko piece, is this right here. This is a Alex Ross. So the guy who the guy who painted Marvels. Do you remember hearing about Marvels?
Yeah.
Okay. So and in it, this one is a special edition that is autographed by him.
Nice.
But if we look really, really closely, do you see which number it is?
1 of 300. So you got the first one.
The very first one.
That is awesome.
So and there were literally 300 of those it sold out before I think the first day was over, and I got the very first one.
How did you do that? Did you have to buy it, or did you get it?
Oh yeah, no, I had to buy that, but that was one of the few things that I actually like wanted. And then this is the only other thing I actually wanted at the convention.
Yep.
Now, there's a story behind this. So
Okay.
these are the collector pins that you get if you're, just someone who gets to go into the show or whatever. But I had a badge that was a pretty much a vendor badge. They called it an exhibitor badge. And my exhibitor badge did not let me get one of those pins. So the only time that you're supposed to, or the only way that you're supposed to be able to get one if you're an exhibitor is to go buy one from the Marriott, which is attached to the convention center. Well, the Marriott, the times that was open were times that the vendors and exhibitors were supposed to be at their booths.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like no way for me to get one.
Right.
So Billy and I complained, and then finally the last day of the convention, I said, okay, instead of both of us going to set up the booth, I'll set up the booth. You go ahead and you go down and get us the pins and everything. And so Billy ran down, got us the pins. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the one pin that I actually wanted while I was there. And because I wasn't sure I was going to get that, I got the limited edition Hard Rock Bartenders Series pin as well. This was limited to just 1 of 100. So.
Oh dang!
So there's literally only 100 of those, and then the little bags that they gave you had little DC comic ones, and I was able to get Batman, the Joker, and Aquaman.
That's
which
cool.
Which I think is funny because you see Batman and you're like, oh, that looks like the comic book Batman. Oh, you see the Joker and the Joker looks like
comic book Joker,
like the 70s Joker, right? But then you look at this and it's Jason Momoa. Like, really? We couldn't have blonde hair.
The blonde hair with the orange suit, the orange shirt and green tights.
So yeah. And then, we were selling the book. We were, we did everything we could to try to push as many of those books out. I went down. I actually gave out our little business cards because tomorrow, the 26th, is the last day that you can actually go into your local comic shop and give them the diamond codes to try to order a copy if you haven't done so already. So if you haven't, folks, go out there, and make sure that you are telling them that you want a copy of Junior High Horrors, the comic book that Robert Kirkman may have said that's awesome, by the way. So Robert Kirkman of The Walking Dead has a copy of the preview book in hand right now, to which when I told him that the 3rd issue was going to be a parody of The Walking Dead, he told me that was awesome. So I'll say that here, but as a quote, I'm only allowed to say Robert Kirkman may have said that's awesome about Junior High Horrors.
It may have said.
But here's what's funny about that. It's a parody book, so it makes it even funnier knowing that it's going to have a quote on it that says Robert Kirkman may have said that's awesome. So that's pretty much my entire trip until like I said, met no celebrities. And I say that, but like I said, Dave Farrig was at my booth for a little while. Joe Cantanella was kind enough to bring a Chucky doll from Child's Play 2. We obviously did have some people come by. One of my favorite people in terms of the GameStop TV people, Kristen Adams, did come by the booth. So there's a picture of me on my Instagram with her, but I'd met her before. So I don't, like I was trying to meet like new celebrities.
Right.
I do want to give a shout out to Austin Kletchka for Kletchka Vlogs. He's got 66,000 YouTube subscribers and totally put me on his channel this week. Also want to give Mike S. Miller a shout out because I was on his YouTube as well. So all that and I was live streaming. We live streamed a couple times from the convention. We went to the donut bar. If you haven't watched me trying to eat an entire donut that actually has a Pop-Tart in it, Tino, you need to watch the video.
The donut has a Pop-Tart in it?
It actually had a legit Pop-Tart inside the donut. Yeah, and interestingly enough, that place actually sold beer at 8 o'clock in the morning when you bought your donuts.
As you take a drink.
Well, I have to after talking about all those donuts. I mean,
what in the heck? What do you?
My Yeti's got water in it.
Oh, okay.
The other one's got an adult beverage. So finally, Tino, on the way out of the convention, Billy and I. Let me go ahead and say I want to throw a shout out to Marco Torres, the little boy that I met last year who had beaten cancer. His family actually asked me out to meet up with them for dinner. So I met up with them for dinner the one night. It was awesome. Found out that he's a huge softball fan, which is Bobby Crosby's group, the Dodgers Films crew. Austin Kletchko is one of those guys. But it was just, it was one of those moments where it's like, wow, like he did so much for me without doing anything, just by beating cancer and meeting me. Like it was one of those things that like I was just blown away by last year. And this year I got to hang out with them after Comic-Con the one night, which was just awesome. So finally I head to the airport after not meeting a single celebrity. And Billy sits there and goes, "Hey, isn't that Jerry the King Lawler?" And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell would Jerry the King? But Jerry the King Lawler is an artist himself, and he was actually the guest of I think one of the artists at San Diego Comic-Con. So he actually met up with a couple of the artists and got some art from them. So I walk up to him and I'm like, King, I just want to tell you that you're an inspiration to me because I remember watching Monday Night Raw the night that you had your heart attack and I had heart surgery about 3.5 years ago. So I just want to say that you're an inspiration, being able to get up and actually want to continue doing what you do and get back in the ring and do that kind of stuff. And he's like, I really appreciate that. And so of course we were at a barbecue place, which is probably not the best place for people that have heart issues.
2 guys with heart problems.
I don't want to hear nothing. Not out of you. I don't want to hear nothing. But so on an upcoming episode, actually the little I think it's a 30-second video of Jerry the King Lawler sitting there and giving a shout out to the Potsy and Tino Show is now available on my YouTube page and will be one of the sound bites that we use going forward. So once again, representing the Potsy and Tino Show was Rob Potsy Pochak. One of these times, Tino's going to have to go out there and get some.
Where do I go to get to meet celebrities?
I don't know. I'm just saying you're going to have to start getting your ass out there and doing it.
Where am I going to go? I'm gonna go to the Hardy compound.
There you go. I'm
outside and go delete.
Yes, you could probably sit outside their place yelling delete, and they probably let you in.
Yeah.
So all right. So yes, so I did meet Jerry the King Lawler. That was awesome. And of course I'm sitting there going to Billy. I'm like, dude's got a Batmobile. Like, now obviously he was taking a plane. He did not have the Batmobile there, but it was still pretty awesome. And I sent you the link and you didn't even like message me back until the next day.
Do you know what time you sent me that link, dude?
I have no idea.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It was.
I heard my phone go off.
It was not. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Well, you gotta remember where you were too. You were 3 hours behind us. I'm gonna look it up too.
Oh, you know what? It probably was 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm looking it up right now, dude.
It was 2:30 in the morning. You're right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So okay, so there's my trip in a nutshell. I do want to go ahead and tell everybody thank you who came by the booth. If you actually watched this video, thank you for coming by the booth. Thank you for checking out Junior High Horrors. It meant the world to me. We had some people actually come up throughout the show and actually tell me how much they actually enjoyed reading it. There were a bunch of professionals that I gave a copy to that actually said they're going to move it to the front of their pile because when you're at a show like that and you see a fan who's got a book out or whatever, they typically just go okay, and then they shove it in a bag, and who knows when they'll actually read it or whatever. But my buddy Tom Nguyen who I finally got to meet in real life. I've known him online for, he said, decades, so it's almost as long as I've known you, Tino.
Wow.
He basically said, hey, that's really cool. I'll make sure that this goes on the front of the pile because, Friends stuff goes in front of other stuff. And another artist by the name of Dustin Nguyen, who actually has done a book called like Little Gotham, where he's actually got like chibi characters of all the Batman characters. He actually said, this looks awesome. I can't wait to read it. And it's going to go on the front because out of everything I've been given, this is the first thing that actually like caught my eye. So I was really excited about that. So
nice, dude. That's awesome.
In a nutshell, we're still cranking away at the book. I think there's one page left to be penciled. Billy's working hard on the pages to get it ready. The book is scheduled to come out in September. We're on pace to hit that date. We've really got to start locking down to get the second issue out of, in the can as well. But second week of September is when we're actually shooting to have the book out. So I'm pretty excited about that. But some stuff happened in the wrestling world, so I guess we should probably talk about that.
Let's hit it. So what you want to hit first?
Well, I mean,
the biggest news probably is the and I was on the Facebook page and I see that you took credit for it again. The biggest news is WWE is on October the 28th will have their first all female superstar pay-per-view called Evolution.
Yeah, Evolution. You think they're going to use the theme song from Motorhead?
Probably. And I've never Evolution. I'm like, what is Evolution?
Evolution is a mystery. That one, yeah. I don't think they're going to use that one.
Why Evolution? What's wrong with him?
I don't know. He had Quado.
It was probably talking. That's why he couldn't get it out.
I thought Quado was actually what sang out of Lemmy's head. So.
Well, him and I don't know much. That dude.
Oh, Aaron Neville.
Yeah, they probably sang duets with him. Touch the feel of cotton.
He sounds like a little monkey sometimes, like.
I think that's the thing echoing.
Oh, you're probably right. Probably right. So you completely threw me off there.
Evolution.
So Evolution, the first ever all women's pay-per-view from WWE, following in the footsteps of the Women of Honor, Ring of Honor show on Wednesdays. So we haven't heard anything. I mean, we're talking it's 3 months away. The only thing that we've heard so far is that Trish Stratus and Lita will both be involved with it in one way or another.
I think that's with the finals of the Mae Young Classic too. They did say that.
Yes, and the finals of the Mae Young Classic, which I have a feeling is going to be Caitlyn.
You think so?
I do. I could be wrong. They could be pushing one of the like Io Shirai or whatever her name is that's going to be there.
Anything would be better than that 70-year-old women's champion they have at Ring of Honor.
You know who I think that is? I think that's Jushin Liger, actually. Just without his mask on.
It's the Great Muda.
It's not the Great Muda. It's not the Great Muda. We've seen him without a mask on. He just has a painted face.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of painted faces, Jeff Hardy lost his title in surprising fashion in like 8 seconds to Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke got the low blow and hit the Kinshasa, and that was it. But what pained me, I think it was the following Tuesday when Randy Orton came out and attacked him.
Randy Orton.
But did you see what he did to him when he had him on the floor? You know Jeff has the gauges, right? You see what Randy did to him? Randy stuck his finger and pulled. I'm like, oh my God. They even panned the audience. There was one girl, she was like, oh, her ear.
I saw that on this week in the WWE because I didn't get to watch all that stuff. But like, why is Randy Orton a bad guy again? He's got more heel turns and face turns than the Big Show now.
He said that he jumped Jeff Hardy because, you know, he doesn't get any respect anymore. He's been busting his tail for 18 years, and why he goes, you know, why don't you respect me? Is it because I don't paint my face? Is it because I haven't picked up a cool hand sign? And he actually did the too sweet. He says because I don't do aerial moves. Then, you know, he's
got the out of nowhere.
Yeah, so he's like, and so he's pretty much saying that now he was the legend killer. He said now that he's evolved to the legend. Now he's going to go back and start taking out all the internet darlings and all these up and comers. So now he's going to be pretty much the vet trying to take out the newcomers. And he said he said you don't have to call me. He said you can call me the Viper. He said you could call me the Apex Predator. He said, but the only thing you really need to call me are the 3 most destructive letters in the world of wrestling today, RKO. And that was it. He walked out. People were cheering him. So I guess he's healed. He's decided he's gonna finish off Jeff Hardy first, and then he's gonna finish.
He's sitting there talking about how we don't respect him, but the reason why we have those issues is because he really hasn't done anything in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, he was champion like last year, and then all of a sudden he lost to Jinder Mahal. You know,
and then he was the U.S. champion for like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, like a cup of coffee, literally. So I don't care. Is it wrong for me to say that? Like he wants to make me care about him again? Okay, make me care. Put on a 5-star match. Do a match like when you beat Seth Rollins by throwing him up in the air and hitting him with an RKO. And then later that night, Seth Rollins comes down and becomes champion. You know, like do something like that. You know, like surprise me. You know what? Come in at SummerSlam and just beat the hell out of Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar beat the hell out of you last SummerSlam or 2 SummerSlams ago.
Well, because now, speaking of Brock Lesnar, he knows who he's going to be facing now at SummerSlam.
Yeah, you know, so let's start with the beginning of this one. Bobby Lashley actually beat Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules, which caught all of the Smarks off guard because he literally, you know, like Bleacher Report actually showed out of the 7 people that actually voted on who was going to win the match, all like 6 out of the 7 said Roman Reigns and 1 out of the 7 said Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley ends up walking out with the victory. And then somehow Roman Reigns gets put in a match against the winner of a match between 3 or 4 guys, and Bobby Lashley wins that match, but then Bobby Lashley loses to Roman Reigns, so suddenly he's not in the match now, which is just horseshit because in actuality, him beating Roman Reigns the first time should automatically put him ahead of Roman.
What happened is that they were trying to do, they had 4 number 1 contenders, so whoever won, you know, they had 2 matches, and the winner of the 2 matches would face each other, and then that person would go on to SummerSlam to face Brock Lesnar. So right. it was.
Listen, just talking about Roman Reigns right now, I'm yawning again.
Yeah, I know it was Roman, and I know it was Seth, Finn, Roman, and Lashley. So it ended up being, you know, Roman and Bobby obviously won their matches. So yeah, I'm getting my Bobby Blue. I was trying to say obviously too at the same time, you know, won their matches, so they faced off. And I had a feeling because Lashley beat Roman at 50-50 booking, and we know Vince, he's hell-bent and determined he's going to put that title.
Well, see, that's my point. I think that the reason why Lashley won the first match in the first place was because Vince was not on scene at Extreme Rules. So Triple H booked it differently, and Vince just went ahead and reversed all the decisions by having all the matches reversed 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it really looks like. So so James Ellsworth apparently on his way out of WWE already again.
Yeah, fired.
The turtle got fired again. And okay, so let's talk about the B team. The B team is now the tag team champions. You know, you can buy the B Team T-shirt on my TeePublic site. if you want the one that looks like the A-Team shirt.
So you can get you a white Hanes shirt and a black Sharpie and make your own.
No, I don't know. No, I did make my own. I made my own, and it's a cool looking shirt. It looks like the A-Team logo. That's how it should have been done in the first place.
I'm sure there's about licensing and patents and copyrights they had to deal with.
Forget that stuff. That's why my shirt's cool. Like this. Patents and copyrights and whatever. I'm wearing the Potsy and Tino Show shirt. Yeah. So just one more throwback to San Diego. You saw that I was wearing the Potsy and Tino Show shirts from San Diego, right?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get anybody asking about it?
No. Someone did too sweet me though. They wanted to too sweet me when they noticed it. So I was okay with that. The other stuff going on, dude. There's not a whole lot like the indefinite suspension of Hulk Hogan became a 3-year suspension of his Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He was also backstage.
You know they weren't going to keep Hulk out that long.
Yeah, I was surprised it was actually 3 years. Didn't feel that long.
Mm-mm.
You know, that's a long time to keep Hulk Hogan away.
What else we got going on? We got we were talking about before the show. Braun and your boy KO.
Yeah.
Are gonna wrestle.
They're pulling a Mr. Kennedy versus Edge here. They're putting you know what it is? They almost never have a champion not on TV, right? And now we've had a champion not on TV for almost 18 months, pretty much. So what do? You give someone the Money in the Bank and you start having them put that up. You know, so hey, I don't have a championship, but I got this Money in the Bank I can put up for stipulation.
But do you really think they're going to let KO beat Braun for that?
Well, the question is, will it matter?
But yeah, because if KO wins, he'll face the winner of the Owen. He'll probably try to cash it in that night on the winner of the Owen. The winner of the Roman and Brock fight.
See, I think here's so if KO were to take that from him and he were to try to cash in that night, he'll have already been through hell taking on Braun Strowman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he will have almost no chance of actually winning if he cashes in that night, especially with all the beatings he's taken in the last 2 months. I mean, he's been thrown off of a ladder. He's been thrown off of a steel cage. Like when did he become the bump machine? I thought that was Dolph Ziggler.
The bump machine. But I think because technically he won that last battle with Braun, 50-50 booking, is Braun will probably win. And I think Braun may cash in.
Well, and there's where I really think what's going to happen. I think this is going to be the coronation of Braun Strowman. I think you're going to have Braun win against KO in like the first match of the night. And then after that match, Braun will go in the back. He'll be fine. They'll make it look like he's hurt or something because he persevered or whatever. And then all of a sudden at the end of the night, he'll come down, he'll cash in the Money in the Bank on Roman Reigns and then beat Roman Reigns for the title. Or to keep Roman strong, what they'll do is they'll have him pull the Seth Rollins and actually interrupt that match, and he'll end up pinning Brock Lesnar, and that'll keep Roman strong, and Brock can disappear for a while, maybe forever. Who knows? And what that really does is no matter what happens there, when you hear that music go, Braun, it is going to blow the roof off the damn place, Tino. That's going to be an Austin pop the night that he came down when Mick Foley won the championship.
Yep.
Like that's how loud that pop's going to be, because everybody's going to be booing that match, because it's that match right now is set up to be Goldberg versus Brock at like WrestleMania. What was it, 20? Yeah,
with Stone Cold as the ref.
Yeah. It's going to go over more like a fart in church, but it's going to be like a fart in church that is like the biggest fart in the biggest church ever. You know, like it's just going to be like a nuclear fart happening in like the biggest church ever. And then all of a sudden Braun is going to come down to that ring, but when his music hits, it is going to get like an electrifying pop from it.
Nice.
You know, like I don't think we've heard a pop in New York City this loud in years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be because Vince finally gave the fans what they wanted.
So last thing I want to talk about is it happened tonight. Actually, it was taped last week and it was spoiled. I knew the outcome last week.
But I guess you're talking about Ciampa versus Aleister Black. Tell me what happened.
Ciampa won. I haven't watched it yet, but I just know that Ciampa's your new NXT champion. He beat Black. I got to go back and watch it when we get off of here. But like I said, it spoiled it last week. They're like, do that. If you don't want to know, you don't read it. I'm like, I don't give a damn.
Did Johnny Gargano have something to do with it?
I don't know. I just see it just said that Ciampa beat him. So Ciampa is your new NXT champion. So I got to go. When we get off here, I'm gonna go back on the network and watch it.
You know, it's pretty cool to think about. My buddy Tom Nguyen was actually the one that did the Blackheart shirt at the NXT New Orleans show. The one that Ciampa said he's not going to put up for sale because he's a classic heel, which is just awesome. You know, like you got to think that in this day and age where these guys, especially the NXT guys, are just making a lower amount of money until they make it to the main roster, that a big portion of what they make comes from those merchandising sales. Yes. And yet he is totally taking it upon himself to be the old school heel to where he does not want anything taking away from that heeldom, right? He doesn't want anything he doesn't want you cheering him. He wants you booing him, and he wants you getting angry at his actions and reactions to things. He does not want to hear you cheer. And the crazy thing is that it's hard not to cheer him because the way that they build up him and Johnny G, man, the way that they build up that feud, it is lightning in a bottle, Tino.
Yes.
Like I will say right now that if they're going to do a third match between the two of them, it should be on the main roster, even if it's an NXT feud still. Like,
I got a feeling they're going to do it. They're going to do it for that belt. Eventually, Johnny's going to get that belt from Ciampa.
Yeah, probably, but it'll probably be a career versus belt match.
Yeah.
You know, so
he already lost the career match with Ciampa. Remember, he was gone away for.
But like, what else do they have? Like, I actually think that it could be the very first ever Hell in a Cell match in NXT.
That would be awesome.
It would, you know, but it'll be interesting to see if they go that route with it because, like, you know, how many times has somebody really bled in NXT? You know, how many times has you know, like the match that they had at New Orleans was just mind blowing, right? So it's like, okay, well, where are they going to go next? Like, how do they top?
How do they top it?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
That's all. You got any more?
I'm trying to think. You know, we talked about the Evolution thing. Obviously Ronda Rousey comes back next week. Brock Lesnar comes back next week. So they're going to be loading up Raw. So that'll be interesting. WWE 2K19, the video game, they now have announced the Woo edition.
Is that going to be Rick or Charlotte?
It's Rick, and it looks like it's going to have like an action figure and everything else in there for Ric Flair. So it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. You know, there's no new news on the whole Jay Lethal thing in Ring of Honor, except now isn't he the champion of Ring of Honor now?
Lethal?
Yeah, I think
did he beat him? Did he beat
Yeah, it was Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, and Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal ended up winning the match.
When was that? Was that on NXT? NXT. Was that on a Ring of Honor TV show, or was that a pay-per-view?
It's just a regular TV broadcast.
When? I gotta go back and watch that.
I think you know what? I think it'll probably be airing. If it didn't air this week, it'll air next week.
I gotta check that out.
So yeah, they did some pretty big stuff there. I'm trying to think of what else, man. Like, we found out who AJ Styles is going to meet at SummerSlam. And Tino, I'm surprised you didn't say it already. So why don't you go ahead and hit us with it, folks?
My catchphrase?
Before he says it, I'm going to say it's not safe for all audiences for him to say this. But Tino?
It's my catchphrase. I hadn't been able to say it in a while. Where the fuck did Joe come from?
Damn right, man. Like, Joe showed up out of nowhere, Coquina clutch.
Well, no, he was there. He was there earlier that night because he beat R-Truth. Earlier, so he was already there, and that whole thing is comedy gold in itself, because the past 2 weeks, R-Truth has somehow managed to talk your boy 10 into a match with Samoa Joe. So this week, Ty Dillinger got R-Truth into a match with Samoa Joe, because so Samoa Joe has put Ty out twice, and so Ty's giving him pep talk. Goes, "Are you sleepy?" He goes, "No." "You gonna need a blanket?" He goes, "No." "Why?" "Because you're not going to sleep." He said, "You're R-Truth, and what are you gonna do?" "I'm gonna show him what's up." So he hyped him up, and yeah, and R-Truth was doing good for a while, and then he ran. He threw Joe into the corner, and he ran at him, and Joe caught him in that, we catch him in the corner, and he slams him back down, slapped the Coquina clutch. It was over. R-Truth went night-night.
So Joe comes down to the ring during the AJ Styles thing where Paige is supposed to be announcing who he's supposed to be facing. My question is, if it wasn't originally going to be Joe, who was it supposed to be?
No, it was going to be Joe. I don't know. You said you fell asleep on the show, so you probably didn't see it. After he beat AJ Styles, they did one of those backstage things, and Paige said, the reason why I picked you is because I wanted unpredictability, and I wanted that, and Joe said, well, what you just saw was unpredictable, so Joe was meant to be the challenger. She just didn't get to say anything because she was busy kicking out No 10 Turtle, and Joe took the opportunity to go out there and whoop AJ's ass and sign the contract.
Yeah, so he signs the contract, and we now have our two main events for SummerSlam. That
makes me think AJ's going to drop, because they made a point of saying that AJ's held that belt, and they said how many days, like 289 days. They made a point of saying it, and usually when they do that, he's about to drop that belt.
Well, if there's a guy that's scary enough to drop the belt to, I would say it's Joe. And on SmackDown, it is more likely to happen than one of the other than someone on Raw, right? So I tend to believe that's the case. Other than that, though, I really don't think much happened. I guess we're leading up to Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, he said when she comes back from her, that's already set. When she comes back, her first match back is going to be at SummerSlam, and it's going to be with Alexa for the title.
And I think that's where we're going to get Natalya to turn on her, since we haven't had that yet.
So you still don't think they're going to give Ronda the belt yet?
Man, she's had 2 matches. Like, I guess they could, but it'll be good. Is if they show the 4 horsewomen in the audience, and then Shayna Baszler actually hits her in the head.
Yeah, so you think, but that means that they're getting ready to bring Shayna Baszler up. You think they're ready to bring her up yet?
I mean, she's more ready than Ronda.
And here's the thing too, because she's still got to drop that belt, I think. And which would probably be the Kairi Singh, because Kairi Singh won that the number 1 contender match to face Shayna.
Yeah, I don't know. That they're making Shayna look like she's a beast. So
yeah, if they bring Shayna up, they'll probably bring her up to Raw to put her against Ronda. You think?
I mean, I think that it's a match waiting to happen, you know, but the question is whether or not they do that, or they decide to go 4 horsewomen of MMA versus 4 horsewomen of WWE at the Evolution.
Yeah, that could be too.
You know, so it'll be interesting because right now I kind of think that what they're going to do is something like put Trish and Lita in a tag team match against 2 of the younger women. Although Mickey James said that she actually wants Trish Stratus one more time, so who knows?
Wow, that'd be interesting.
It would, and you know, Trish is the type that, you know, because of her yoga and everything, stays in good enough shape to actually put on a decent match. I worry about Lita in the ring. I have a feeling she's just going to be like commentary or something.
I think that her Beth Phoenix is coming too.
Well, you know, the rumor is that Kelly wants to be back under WWE contract now. So I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on. But don't be surprised if you see the Bella Twins show up at it. Don't be surprised if you see Molly Holly show up. You know, it's going to be a big time pay-per-view. It's you know, I think that you may see someone like Sarah Del Rey, who you know we've talked about as one of the best women's wrestlers, but now she's a trainer for NXT. It's not out of the question that she would want to come out for the first ever women's pay-per-view.
Wow. Yeah, because Stephanie did say the past, present, and future. So you never know who's going to show up.
Nope, that's just it. You know, so Tino, I got pretty much nothing else, man. We've been talking here for, you know, a little bit over an hour, I think, at this point. So if you're ready, man. We're not even at an hour, but you know, it kind of feels like it because it's so late, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put the music in post. So we launched with it, but it's a little bit harder to take us out with it. So why don't you go ahead and do what you got to do here and tell everybody how to reach us.
It's been a minute, so let me see if I can remember this.
Yeah. Don't forget the Twitters, the Instagrams, and the Facebook page.
You can catch that jackass at Potcheck on Twitter. I'm HootieFan91. Potsy and Tino on Twitter. On the Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. You can also check us out on Instagram. I think I'm SC Tino. This gentleman here is Potcheck it, right? On Instagram.
Rob Potcheck.
Rob Potcheck on Instagram. I think it's all our Twitters and our handles. And as always, ladies, I haven't done this in a while, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we want to say thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song, which you can get on iTunes for 99 cents. Until we meet again, I hear Ric Flair off in Charlotte. You hear him?
You hear him? Oh, yeah.
And he's saying, woo! Good night.